I can't say there's much style about anybody that's gone into the Van Brett so far.
They don't have to look stylish. The Van Bretts have been on Fifth Avenue long before the Vanderbilts or the Goulds or any of them.
Looks like an old museum to me.
Ha! I'd live in a tomb if I had all the millions they have.
I'll be late, Telson. No, madam. There's 5 or 10 minutes yet. The wedding's to be at high noon.
Not a thing in this house has been changed since old Jacob Van Brett died.
I wonder how Victoria would like having her brother married to a nurse. Half-brother, dear. Rip is her half-brother. He's a Van Brett.
Well, it's about time there was some new blood in the family.
Where are you going?
I'm taking the bridal bouquet to Miss Darrow.
That's my place. Louise, the back stairway.
Avery, wait a minute. I'll take it.
Oh, Mr. Rip, that's bad luck. A groom shouldn't see his bride until the wedding.
I'm not superstitious.
Who is it?
Me, may I come in?
Oh, no, you mustn't.
Well, then you won't have any posies to carry to your wedding.
And you won't have any bride if you don't let me get ready. Please.
You have a lovely hand, Miss Darrow.
Oh, Rip, it's gorgeous.
Goodbye, darling. Meet you in front of the preacher.
Oh, wait a minute, Rip. Here.
Thank you, darling.
On my soul, where did that come from?
It just arrived from...
J. Venice. Grapefruit spoons. That's the 4th set of grapefruit spoons. On my soul, don't put it there.
Why?
Oh, I should have told you. This contains the ashes of Jacob Van Brett, Miss Van Brett's father. And that holds the ashes of their mother.
The real ashes?
The actual ashes. Never touch them.
Believe me, I won't.
Avery, are the guests here?
Most of them, Miss Caroline.
Oh, Avery. A wedding here. I used to think the first wedding here would be mine.
They say romance is catching. Perhaps yours will be the next.
Oh, never now, Avery. I'm 42 years old.
Oh, you never can tell, Miss Caroline. Only last night I read in the Globe of a lady who is marrying at 65.
Oh, Avery, how silly.
It's true.
Just imagine.
And they say she smokes cigarettes.
Oh, no, Avery.
Caroline. Caroline, must I always remind you that you must not gossip with servants?
Yes, Victoria. I'm sorry.
Sit in your chair, Caroline.
I beg pardon, madam.
Yes, William?
There's a man from Tiffany's here with a package which he wishes to hand directly to Mrs. Van Brett.
There is no Mrs. Van Brett at present.
No, madam. That is, he meant Miss Ann Darrow, madam.
Move my chair. Send Tiffany's man here to me.
But he said especially it was for Mrs.
Bring him here.
Yes, madam. Yes, excuse.
Victoria, it must be the pearls. Rip's gift to his bride.
Bride?
Oh, Vicky. She saved Rip for us. Dr. Lucas said that...
Nursing is her business. Must he marry her for that?
Why, he's marrying her because he loves her.
She's marrying him because he's a Van Brett. What right is she to intrude into this house? We were perfectly happy until she came here.
The man from Tiffany's, madam. This is Miss Van Brett.
Yes, I know Miss Van Brett. How do you do? How do you do?
Mr. Chase.
Yes, that's right. Yes, some years since I've been in this house. All looks just the same.
Is this what you came for, Mr. Chase?
No, I have the Van Brett pearls here for the new Mrs.
She's dressing for her wedding.
Oh.
I'll take charge of them.
Yes, yes, quite so. No reason at all why I shouldn't hand them over to you. The customary receipt, madam. We had them in storage since 1885.
The year Rip's mother died.
They belong to my mother, not to Rip's.
I remember how delighted Mr. Van Brett was every time one of our agents found another pearl of the right size and color. And then we'd both sit down and examine the new Van Brett pearl over a glass of port or brandy. He told me a great deal about his life. He told me how the noise on Fifth Avenue prevented him from sleeping. That's why he built that mysterious sleeping room.
Oh, but...
Mysterious? What do you mean?
Why, Mr. Van Brett told me that he'd built a sort of a soundproof room. Ah, he was a wise man. He foresaw the coming of motor cars.
I occupy the room my father had.
A sort of secret chamber.
Nonsense. It's almost as large as this one. 3 windows on the avenue. Nothing mysterious.
Well, we sometimes did have several glasses of port or brandy.
What is the value of the pearls today?
Oh, at least $500,000.
Good day, Mr. Chase.
Good day. Good day.
This priceless heirloom round the neck of that empty-headed upper servant.
Oh, but Vicky, Father gave them to Rip's mother on her wedding day, and she meant them for his bride.
They belong to my mother. They should have come to me. $500,000 to a stranger. Where's that string of beads you bought for the housemaid?
You wouldn't let me give them to her.
Of course not. Get them.
Oh, Victoria, you're not going to keep the real pearls from her. In her will, his mother said, to be given to my son's
Rip
wife.
never saw his mother's will. You will hold your tongue. Now go down and tend to the guests. And tell Neff I want to see him immediately.
Yes, Vicky.
It's 12 o'clock, madam. The minister and Mr. Rip are already downstairs.
Who is that playing the organ?
The young man the Reverend Dr. Loring brought with him.
Who told him to play?
I believe the Reverend Dr. Loring suggested.
Is that clergyman master in this house? Lock the keyboard of the organ and bring the key to me at once.
Very good, madam.
The organ didn't break down. Somebody did it. Do you suppose?
Anne.
Ah, Neff. Morning.
Morning. Miss Caroline insisted that you couldn't wait.
Yes.
Oh, but the wedding has already started.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here in the sight of God and in the face of this company to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony.
I am making a new will, Neff. All of Rip's share is to go to the list of hospitals mentioned in the old will.
But you're not leaving Rip out altogether.
Just that.
I thought you were very fond of him.
I was. But he's changed.
But my dear Miss
Will
Victoria...
you do it, or shall I get someone else? Now, you've failed me thus far. I sent you to her to buy her off.
She wouldn't be bought off. She loves him.
Get me that new will.
My dear Miss Victoria...
Tonight.
Very well. I'll go directly and bring it here before dinner.
Good.
And now, shall we go down?
Wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor and keep her? And forsaking all others, keep thee only unto her, so long as ye both shall live. The Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost,
Favor.
bless, preserve,
What
and
is
keep
the
you.
matter with you?
The Lord
Come in.
mercifully with his
William,
favor look upon
Thomas.
you and fill you with all spiritual benediction and grace, that ye may so live together.
Shut the door, William.
And in the world to come, ye may have...
Now, pack all these things away in the closet off my room. Here's the key. Carry them right out on the tables. Get them out of here. Get this place in order.
Good for you, Caroline. Oh, Rip.
Anne, the presents.
Oh, Rip.
Victoria, we're married. You didn't come down, Vic.
I had important matters to attend to.
What about the organ?
Well, that was a misunderstanding.
Sorry. Tiffany's man left Anne's gift with you. Where is it?
Dear boy, taking heirlooms with you across the continent on your wedding trip.
Nonsense.
Are they so valuable, really?
They belong to my mother.
Oh, of course. But I should like to see my wedding gift from Rip and try them on with this dress.
Why, certainly, dear. Victoria.
I was afraid they might be lost in the confusion here today. As trustee of your estate, I've taken charge of them. I've disposed of them safely.
Oh, Vic, you sent them away? But why couldn't you have let Anne see them first?
Had you arranged with Neff? Asked if you could take possession under the will?
No, I never thought of that.
Well, I'll take it up with him while you're gone. This thing must be done legally.
But Anne should have a present.
I planned for that, dear. Here is a new necklace.
Good old Vic. Here you are, dear. Open it.
Oh, Rip, let me see.
Please.
These aren't anything.
I think they're lovely. Just the length I like.
Nett's probably still downstairs. I'll ask him about the will. Back in a moment, dear.
Hurry, darling. I think this belongs with the real pearls, Miss Van Brett.
It does.
Oh, Miss Van Brett, there's plenty of room in the closet off Rip's dressing room. I should like to have our presents put there.
These are not your presents.
Not ours?
Not yours. They've come from friends of the Van Bretts. As head of this house, I shall take charge of them.
Anne!
John! Where were you? I didn't see you after.
I saw you. I took advantage of being Rip's doctor to come right up. I came to wish you great happiness.
Thank you, John.
It's not a wedding present, just a little joke.
Oh, John.
All your own. Remember how we tramped through the slums when you were a district nurse? You always talked of getting a dog to protect us.
Oh, John. How wonderful of you to think of it. And gold. I'll keep it always.
It'll remind you of old times.
It will.
And do you mind if I say something to you?
Why not?
This family you've married into.
Please, John.
Oh, I don't mean Rip. He's a fine fellow.
You mean Miss Van Brett?
Yes.
I know she doesn't like me, but it takes two to make a quarrel.
Only one to drive a girl like you to the very verge of a reason.
You don't count much on my endurance. I intend to win her over.
Try it.
You underestimate my charm, Dr. Lucas.
I'm not likely to do that, Anne. If things do get bad here, telephone me and I'll come over.
Aren't you forgetting that I have a perfectly good husband?
Yes, and I'm remembering that he's under the spell of this place. He hasn't been able to save himself. Can he save you? I'll give you 6 months.
6 months? November. Come and see us.
Thanks, I will. Well, goodbye, Anne.
Goodbye. And thank you for the kind things you've done, John. You may kiss the bride.
Don't let's rock the boat.
It's 12:30, Mrs. Van Brett.
Oh, you'll miss your train.
Don't go without telling Rip goodbye.
I won't. I'll be waiting downstairs for you with a pocket full of rice.
Good.
Goodbye.
I'll help you change.
Oh, thank you, Avery.
Avery. I want you.
That's all right, Avery.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Van Brett.
Avery, where's my silk piece? I can't read my paper without my silk piece, can I? Somebody always takes it.
I'll speak to the servants, madam.
Please tell Louise to take Raffles out for his walk.
Yes, Miss Van Brett.
Look, Vicky. I caught the bride's bouquet.
I couldn't find Neff anywhere.
It doesn't matter a whit, darling. I'm so happy.
The necklace. I could make a row about that, Anne.
No rows. Not for you and not today. We must go.
But all the same, I don't feel right about it. I'll make it up to you when we get back. I'm going to take care of you for a change.
You haven't had a square deal, Rip. This is going to be a new life. I promise it. Rip, darling.
Oh, you're sweet. What's this?
It's a present. John Lucas gave it to me.
Oh. John was pretty much in love with you, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do. He was. And you chose me.
Idiot.
Well, Raffles, going out for a nice long walk with Louise. Run along. Run along.
Vicky, why wouldn't you let them have the music? Vicky, please listen to me. I was too young when you came between Robert and me to know what it meant. But it spoiled my life. Please be kind to them. Don't spoil their lives.
I'm ready, Anne.
Be with you in a minute.
Well, we're off. Almost. The carriage awaits.
Oh, Rip, dear, we're going to miss you.
Goodbye, Carrie, old dear.
Goodbye, Rip, darling. May I go down and see them off?
Remember, Caroline, they don't care for you. They have each other. Don't hold them up.
Goodbye, Caroline.
Goodbye, Anne.
Miss Van Brett, may I say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Anne, we've got to hurry. We'll miss our train.
Oh, Vicky, come and see them go.
Close those shutters, Caroline. I told you never to open those shutters.
Vicky. No, Vicky, don't. No, Vicky, don't. Don't. No. No, Vicky, I'll be good.
Don't be a fool, Carrie. I'm not going to punish you. I'm just putting the pearls away.
Oh.
What is the matter with you, Carrie?
I try not. But ever since you locked me in there that day.
Nonsense. That was years ago. You had to be punished.
Buried alive.
Listen to me, Carrie. If you don't pull yourself together and stand with me about this marriage, I will put you in there again.
No.
The vents are all closed now. You'd suffocate.
No, Vicky, don't. I'll do as you say. Really, I will.
See that you do. Wait till they get back.
What do you think of your husband now?
I think he's wonderful, darling.
We've got to have a lake and 2 mountains when we get back.
Oh, where will you put them? In the backyard?
We'll put the backyard nails.
Telegram for you, Mr. Van Brett.
Here.
Thank you, sir.
Open it.
It's from Vic, I know it. I won't open it.
Why not?
She wants me to come home. Terribly important things about the estate.
That's all right, Rip. It may be really necessary. You've got to shoulder responsibility sometime. We were going back in 3 weeks anyway.
I know, but...
Remember what we agreed, Rip. Not to balk anything she wants if it's at all reasonable. We're going to have a lake, you know.
We are. I mean it. And a house on the edge of it.
Welcome, Mr. Van Brett.
Hello,
Counsel.
Carrie!
Welcome, Mrs. Brett. Glad to have you back, my darling.
Isn't Anne looking great?
Oh, Anne, we've missed you so, you've no idea.
Carrie, where's Vic?
She's upstairs waiting for you.
I have something for you, Caroline.
How well you're looking, Mr.
Thank you,
Brett.
Avery.
Oh, Anne, may I open it now?
Of course, Carol.
Come on, Anne.
Oh, Anne, it's beautiful. Oh, you're so dear to think of me.
Hello, Vic.
Hello?
Hello, Victoria.
Hello.
Vicky, see what Anne brought me.
I have some important matters to discuss with Rip. Please leave us alone.
Yes.
You will find your old room, Rip, ready for you and your wife.
Why, Anne and I were planning on taking a house up in Westchester.
And leave your father's house. Why, Rip,
Oh, just to make things easier, I mean.
that was a very selfish thing to say. You will stay here and look after Caroline and me.
But I didn't intend to be selfish, Vic.
Good. I have tended to the estate alone for many years. Now it's your turn. It's difficult work. You'll have to consult with me constantly until you've learned the details. You couldn't live away from here, even if you wished. And I know you don't wish it. I've arranged an appointment for you with Ned. You'll have to go downtown this morning. It's, past 11 now.
Don't feel badly, Rip. We'll stick it out here for a while. After all, she's old and rather lonely. Now run along. Hurry back, darling.
Who opened that window?
Why, I did.
Perhaps you don't understand. This is not a public living room. It is for the exclusive use of Caroline and myself and those whom we invite to share it with us.
This is for you, Victoria.
Anne, come in.
I went to your office, but you'd gone. I had to talk to someone. So you're elected, John.
I accept the great honor.
I'm about at the end of my rope, John.
I can see that. Victoria Van Brett hasn't let up on you for a minute, has she? I've sensed it every time I've seen you since you and Rip came back. You haven't looked happy for weeks, Anne. Rip still loves you, doesn't he?
Of course.
You love him.
Yes, John. I do.
Then you two have got to break away and find a home of your own.
That's impossible. Rip says his sisters need him. She's made him believe that.
What about you?
That's what I'm trying to decide. She'd stop at nothing to get Rip away from me. She doesn't care a rap about his happiness. But I do. Rip's fine, John. He's worth fighting for.
And the only way left is for you to stand up for yourself. Invite your friends in. Lead your own life. Fight her.
Mrs. Van Brett upstairs?
She went out, I believe, sir.
Hello, Vic.
What brings you home so early?
Half and I spent the day going over those Broadway properties. Climbed more stairs and inspected more lofts and cellars. I'm tired. Vic, let's get an agent to look after it all.
I have an agent. You are he.
Then let's sell some of those old buildings.
Never sell. Never sell, Rip. Not on the island of Manhattan.
But the neighborhood is going down.
Nonsense. Look at Park Avenue. Nothing but slums a couple of years ago. Look, Rip. Look at that crowd. People creating trade and a demand for land. People flowing down Fifth Avenue like a river of gold, lapping along our land. Every day they add a greater value to it.
But I don't want to fuss with it all. I haven't seen Anne for a month.
It's the price you pay for wealth.
The price is too high. I want to be happy with Anne while we're young and can enjoy life. I want a home.
You have a home.
Not really. I mean a place where Anne and I can live our own lives.
The Van Bretts have lived in this house for generations.
Damn the Van Bretts. What do I care what the Van Bretts have done? I'm a new generation. I live in a new world. I can't breathe in this. I'm sorry, Vic.
Excuse me, madam. Is this the cloth you wanted on for dinner?
Yes. Don't let it out of your hands until dinner time.
But, Madam...
Don't tell me people don't take things in this house. They take them all the time. Then when they find out I've missed them, they get frightened and they put them back again.
Yes, Miss Van Brett.
Are we having guests for dinner?
Yes, and a surprise for you.
What?
Gertrude Van Mieris is coming. She's been in Paris ever since your wedding.
I didn't know it.
Her affection for you has never faltered.
Victoria, Gertrude Van Mieris never meant anything to me, and you know it.
Well, that needn't prevent your being agreeable to her at dinner.
Oh, Vic. You know where Anne went?
Probably with your friend, Dr. Lucas. She's been meeting him regularly.
I'm glad she has.
So you approve of your wife's affairs with other men?
Affairs? What do you mean?
I can call it by an uglier name if you wish. This man has an apartment on Central Park. Your wife goes there to be alone with him.
You're being ridiculous, Vic.
I've always heard the husband was the last person to know. I begin to understand why.
Are you insinuating that Anne and Lucas are doing anything wrong?
Well, what could be more natural? She was going to marry Dr. Lucas when she met you. She deliberately capitalized on your infatuation. Now she's found out that your money is not hers to spend. It's quite natural she should turn to Dr. Lucas for consolation.
I'll believe that when Anne tells me so.
She's just come in.
Hello, sweetheart.
Why don't you ask her?
Ask me what, Rip?
Rip refuses to believe that you've ever been to Dr. Lucas's apartment alone. Have you?
No, I haven't.
You see, Vic?
How nice. For you.
Forget it, darling. Just some of Vic's nonsense. I've got to put these papers away. I'll be finished in a moment, darling.
Rip, I have been seeing John Lucas.
How is he?
He's doing splendid work at the foundation.
That's fine.
You don't mind my talking things over with him, do you?
No, of course not. Only,
Only what?
well, I wouldn't want you to see him too often. You know how people talk. Well, that is, well, I wouldn't want you going to his apartment. Alone, I mean.
You wouldn't like to have me do that?
No. That's where I draw the line.
I see. Rip,
Please don't worry about it, darling. Somebody's been gossiping to Vic, and she's made the most of it, that's all. I'd rather hope that if we were nice to her, she might grow reconciled.
And we can live in that hope and fear while everything else is sacrificed to it.
What else?
Our happiness and love.
Anne, Vic's got us just where she wants us. We haven't a cent but what she gives us. She's the sole trustee.
It's not the money I care about, it's our happiness.
What do you want us to do? Give up the money? Go out and earn our living?
Yes. Stand on your own feet. Assert your will.
You talk like Lucas. He's down on money.
It isn't that I'm down on it. It's when it spoils my happiness that I hate it. I can never make you realize, Rip, what my life is here in this house.
I know.
I even hesitated to come into this room. She's told me that it's not a public sitting room.
Anne.
She never speaks of me as Mrs. Van Brett. She refers to me, to Caroline, to Telson, even to Louise as that woman.
Anne. I should have fought her down long before I asked you to marry me. I was a coward.
Oh, Rip. Rip, don't say that.
Listen to me. You think you know me. Well, I'm going to tell you some things you don't know. My mother died when I was born. Have you ever thought what my childhood was like here in this haunted house?
Haunted?
To me, yes. For the first 7 years of my life, I slept in that big room on the 3rd floor, in a big black walnut bed with carved faces on the headboard. Victoria brought me up. I seldom saw my father. She used him as a club over me. When I was 7, he died. The day of his funeral, Victoria led me down to the drawing room, where he lay. She took my hand and made me put it in his cold hand. And there she made me promise to keep him in mind always, and to do all the things he'd always wanted me to do. Most of them she made up because it pleased her. I know that now. She told me he was able to watch me from the place he'd gone. After that, she took me into her room to sleep. I had a bed at the foot of hers. Many a night I've lain in there shivering at the thought that those cold eyes of his could look in through the keyhole and watch me.
I think it amused her. It all went to build her power over me.
Rip.
Then she set up this shrine here with his ashes. I thought somehow those cold eyes of his were in there watching me. Day by day, she broke my will.
You mustn't say that.
It's true, I tell you. Don't I know it? I've no will left.
No, Rip. All you have to do is to assert yourself. Make a scene for once.
You think I've never tried? I never got anything but humiliation.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I wanted you to look up to me.
I do, dear. I'm glad you told me. You've cleared up things for me, Rip. A lot of things.
I've never had a friend for very long. She always managed to come between us.
You had John Lucas.
I've never dared ask him to this house, except when I was ill.
Begin with him, Rip. Have John here.
Oh, what's the use? She won't have it.
Excuse me. Miss Van Brett wishes to see you, Mr. Rip.
Go, darling. It's all right.
What shall I send you up for dinner this evening, Mrs. Van Brett?
In my room?
Miss Van Brett explained that you preferred staying in your room. Your headache.
You may as well tell me, Avery.
Miss Van Brett was short a man to balance the table and...
Thank you, Avery. You may go.
Yes, madam.
Avery, Miss Van Brett spoke of needing another man for dinner.
Yes, Mrs. Van Brett.
Thank you. Hello. Columbus, 3612. Dr. John Lucas, please. John, this is Anne Van Brett. Will you come to dinner tonight at 7:30? Of course I mean it. No, I'm just starting the revolution. Good. Oh, John, don't mention that I've been to your apartment. No, I started to tell him, but Victoria had been lying about us, and she'd gotten him terribly upset. John, I know now what I'm fighting. And you'll come? Thank you, John.
Who else is coming for dinner, Vic?
Dr. Loring, Neff, Gertrude, you, Caroline, and I.
What about Anne?
Anne has a headache.
You're mistaken, Victoria. I have no headache. I'm feeling especially well tonight. I'm looking forward to the dinner.
As you like. I can ask old Lorimer to balance the table. He's always so fond of a square meal.
There's no need. I knew you were short a man for dinner, so I called Dr. Lucas and asked him. He's coming.
John Lucas. Did you really? How very interesting. Well, I shall look forward to seeing him. That will be a great pleasure.
Louise, there's a salad fork missing.
Gosh, I was just going to pull the stopper. I guess Miss Van Brent would take my head off if she knew it was gone that long. How was the old Harridan feeling tonight?
Louise.
She was perfectly furious with Mr. Rip because he couldn't keep his eyes off his wife during dinner.
Oh, stop that gossiping. She certainly was throwing Miss Van Meris at Mr. Rip's head.
Why, Tilson. She surely tries to make trouble.
Well, at least Miss Van Meris and Dr. Loring had sense enough to leave early. I wish the others would go.
It's the front door.
The front door?
Why, who can that be at this hour?
I don't know. Who do you wish to see?
I want to see Miss Victoria Van Brett.
I'm sorry, but she's busy.
Miss Van Brett sent for me.
Take these into the library, Rip.
All right.
I beg pardon, madam.
Yes? Go in.
Ouch.
Well, I'm afraid I must run along.
I want you to wait a moment. I have something to take up with you.
Oh? Anything wrong?
I'll explain later.
All right.
This looks like the end.
Check.
Don't beat Dr. Lucas too badly, Anne.
He's certainly gone out of a way to put me at my ease.
It's not like her. Do you suppose?
What?
About this afternoon. Maybe I was foolish. But she was twisting truth into lies.
You tell Rip?
I haven't had a chance. She's kept him at her heels deliberately, every moment.
Well, let's save the king.
And, you have everything with you?
Yes, everything.
Would you just wait here a moment until I call you?
Yes, madam.
Well, Anne, afraid I'll have to be going.
I'm sorry, John.
Oh, Miss Van Brett, I want to thank you very much for a very pleasant evening.
Don't go.
I'm afraid I must. I'm taking the train to Philadelphia. I have an operation there at 5 in the morning.
I wish you to remain, Dr. Lucas, for a moment. Nay, will you sit here? Rip, you and your wife there.
What's up, a board meeting?
And Dr. Lucas, will you please sit here?
What's all this about?
I told you this afternoon, Rip, that your wife is having an affair with Dr. Lucas.
Victoria, I won't have this.
She has been meeting him in the park.
Of course she has.
If you will allow me to continue. Furthermore, she has been going to this man's rooms.
You know that isn't true. I thought we settled that this afternoon. The matter is closed.
So you're satisfied with her word?
Of course I am.
Unfortunately, I am not. Will you come in now, please? This is Mr. Lambert.
Just one moment, please. Miss Van Brett, why bring strangers into this matter?
Mr. Lambert is no stranger to this matter. You may begin.
Miss Van Brett engaged the services of our agency September 1st of this year to follow Mrs. Van Brett and report...
Joanne, I beg of you.
Will you please sit down? Your report, Mr. Lambert.
I began following her September 3rd. She met Dr. John Lucas, this man here, in the park near the 72nd Street entrance.
Well, what if she did?
Quiet, Rip.
On October 18th, she met him again. Finally, this afternoon, she entered apartment 106, located at 151 Central Park West, occupied by the said Dr. Lucas. She remained there an hour. There was no third party present. I have 3 affidavits here from people in the apartment house.
But you have no actual proof.
No legal proof, no, sir.
I am not interested in the legality of it. I'm merely trying to show Rip the kind of woman that he married. If she'll lie to him, she'll deceive him. That will do, Mr. Lambert. Well, Rip?
Rip, you've known me a good many years. You know that I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. You know that Anne wouldn't either.
I'd like to speak to you alone.
No, Rip. It's gone too far for that. I want Victoria to hear all I have to say. But first I want to ask you, do you believe that John and I have deceived you?
No, Anne, I can't believe it. But Anne,
Yes, I lied this afternoon. I'm not excusing it. I lied. I was frightened.
Anne, you don't have to.
Yes, I do. The day you told her you were going to marry me, she began a campaign against me. She was determined to break down our love. That's why I went to see John. I had to talk to somebody to see if there wasn't some way to get you out of this terrible house.
That's a likely story.
It's true.
You lied.
I'd meant to explain it later.
Is that all you have to say?
No, that's not all. I'm glad this has happened, Rip. It's given me the courage I needed. I'm not going to stay in this house another day. You've got to decide now. Which is it to be, Victoria or me?
Just a moment, Rip. You're not going to be taken in by these hysterics. I warned you when you married her. All she's after is your money. Get out of this house if that's what you want.
Anne,
Oh, Rip.
if you have anything else to say to me, I'll meet you in Neff's office anytime. Come on, darling, let's get out of here. We'll go to the Waldorf and a fresh start in the morning.
I trust you realize just exactly what you've done.
Good night, Rip.
Sorry, John.
That's all right. Let me know where you'll be.
Of course.
Good night, Anne.
Good night.
Pack a bag, darling. I'll be waiting for you.
See you at the office in the morning, Rip.
Wait a minute, Neff. Walk to the corner with me. I must find a cab.
Wait. You mustn't leave without your pearls.
Oh, I don't really care. If you want them, keep them.
No. Rip wants you to have them. Come in. You shall have them now. I locked the doors because the servants mustn't know. Even Rick doesn't know. But you'll see now. I'm going to show you my treasure room. My father built this soundproof room so he could sleep in peace. He slept in there for over a year. He died in there. Now I use it to store my valuables. I'll show you. Come. There are 3 steps.
Victoria! Victoria! Victoria, what is it?
What's the matter with you?
What is it? I heard a scream.
Ridiculous.
No, it was here. Anne's voice.
You imagined it?
And when I tried to open the door, it was locked.
No, it wasn't. I just opened it. You've had a nightmare. Go back to bed.
Oh, Vicky, I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me to do that.
Well, don't let me hear any more from you.
Anne? 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 Anne, where are you? Victoria,
What is it?
I can't find Anne. Have you seen her?
She, went downstairs.
Perhaps she's with Caroline.
No, don't disturb Caroline. She's asleep. I saw Anne go down the stairs. Caroline, I don't want you telling anyone about your nightmare. Do you understand?
Yes, Vicky.
Not a word. Your queer notions will get you into trouble, into a lunatic asylum.
I tell you, she's not here, Neff.
Oh, nonsense, nonsense. People don't just disappear.
I have questioned Caroline. She's not seen Anne.
I'm going to call the servants.
Really? I have my own ideas about Anne's disappearance.
What?
She's left you. Gone with Dr. Lucas.
That's a lie. Anne stuck with me even during your persecution. She wouldn't walk out on me now.
Why not call Lucas? Perhaps she told him something.
Maybe he can help us. Hello? Hello? Columbus 3612. Dr. John Lucas, please. What? Are you sure? Thanks.
Well?
He's gone out of town.
Morning paper, madam.
Thank you, William.
Victoria.
I'm reading.
Excuse me.
Where are you going?
Nowhere. Oh, Vicky, I can't sit still any longer. I'm so nervous.
What about?
Anne. It's so terrible not to know what's become of her.
Sit down, Caroline. I don't want you running around the house.
Vicky, what's that?
Those idiots sounding the walls.
Victoria. The more I think of it, the more certain I am that that scream last night was Anne's voice, not mine.
Impossible?
Vicky, you don't think she could have gotten down in the vault, do you?
Carol! Go to your room.
Oh, no, Vicky.
Do as I say. If there's any news of her, I'll
but
tell you.
Vicky, please.
Do as I say. Come in. Ah, Telson.
Yes.
I am closing the house, Telson. Miss Caroline and I, and probably Mr. Rip, are going abroad for a year. Therefore, I am dismissing the entire staff. They will leave immediately. Here are their wages to date, with 1 month extra in lieu of notice.
But, madam,
I gave you 2 months extra, Telson, and I'll write you some references today.
Yes, madam. Very good, madam.
Well, have you found her?
No, not a trace. We've searched the entire house. The attic, the cellar, every closet, every storeroom.
There's only one thing left to do. I'm going to telephone the police.
How they'll laugh at you when they find her with her lover.
It isn't true. I've called Lucas every hour. When he gets back...
You won't find Lucas until he's had time to invent a good story.
I won't. I can't believe it.
You better wait for the afternoon mail. She may have written to you. A few hours can't make any difference.
Yes, you might do that, Rip.
Neff, the old elevator shaft. We haven't looked there.
Are you quite sure you can't tell us anything further?
You'll never find her in this house. Carol, I told you to stay in your room.
Yes, I know, Victoria. But I've been thinking, why don't we tell them about the vault?
No, we can't do that. Only you and I know about that room.
But Anne might have gotten down there somehow. I'm so frightened. Why don't we tell her?
You shan't. You mustn't. You fool. How could she open it?
Vicky, you did it to me. You wouldn't put her in there, would you?
You daren't as much as suggest to anyone that I've done that, and I'll put you in there again.
Oh, no, Vicky, don't. You're hurting my arm. Let me go.
Don't you dare mention the vault. Not to Rick, not to anyone. Do you promise me?
Yes, I promise.
Then get back in your room.
Morning, Telson.
Good morning, Dr. Lucas.
Mr. Van Brett in?
John!
Hello, Rip.
Anne's gone.
I know. I telephoned my office and got your message. I took the first train here.
John, if you know where she is, tell me.
I don't know, Rip. She's not the sort of girl who'd leave you like this.
I can't understand what's happened to her, John.
You sure she left the house?
Oh, I don't know. I went to the corner last night to get a cab, and when I came back, she was gone.
You questioned all the servants?
Yes, they know nothing.
Why didn't you call the police the first thing?
Victoria insisted that she'd left me, John.
No, I don't believe that. Does Miss Caroline know anything?
Oh, Victoria questioned her.
Oh, Victoria.
Ah, Dr. Lucas.
How to do? I'd like to talk to Miss Caroline.
She's in her room, I expect.
Caroline is upset. She can't tell you anything.
Why, the door's locked. From this side. Carrie, we want to ask you a few questions. Sit down here, dear. Did you go right to your room last night?
Yes.
When your door is closed, can you hear conversation going on in here?
Well, I could hear an unusual noise.
What do you mean, Carrie?
Like a loud scream.
You could hear a scream through the door?
Yes.
How do you know that, Caroline?
Well, I don't know.
But you did hear a scream.
Well, no. That is just...
Caroline.
No, I didn't.
Why, Carrie, dear, what's the matter? You're all right. No one's going to hurt you. What's happened to you, dear? Tell me.
She had a nightmare, that's what happened.
Yes, but who screamed?
She did.
You heard her?
Certainly I did. She's always had nightmares.
Wait a minute. Carrie, tell me about your nightmare.
Well, last night I woke both upright. A terrible cry. I thought someone was calling you. I ran to the door and I tried to get it open. I thought it was locked.
Was it?
Oh, no, Victoria opened it easily.
She couldn't open it because she was half asleep.
What happened then, Carrie?
Well, then I saw her bag.
You saw Anne's bag in here?
Yes.
I thought you said Anne didn't come into this room. How did her bag get in here?
I refuse to answer these silly questions.
You can talk here and now or you'll talk with the police.
You dare to threaten me?
It's no threat. It's what must inevitably happen. Now, don't get excited, Caroline. Go on, Rip.
Carrie, why did you want to get in here?
Well, because I was frightened, I guess.
You had a nightmare. Do they always frighten you so?
Well, I didn't think this was a nightmare at first.
You thought the scream came from someone else. You thought it came from in here.
No!
But you ran to the door because you thought something had happened in here. You struggled with the handle, but you couldn't get it open. Then suddenly Victoria opened it and let you in. And you asked what's the matter, and she told you that you'd had a nightmare, that it was you who screamed.
Yes.
Whose voice did it sound like? Was it Anne's?
Oh, no! Don't listen to her. She's mad. She's insane.
No, I'm not. I'm not insane. You shan't say it.
Quiet, Caroline.
I won't be quiet. I'm going to tell. Rip, I'll show you where she is. She's here. She's here.
Where, Carrie? It won't open. It's locked.
Do you know the combination?
No, only Victoria knows.
Open it.
You can't make me.
I'll kill you if I have to. Open that door.
Ah! Rip my arm! Ah, you
Then open it.
There's no time to lose. Open it, Victoria.
Oh, let me go. I'll open.
Hurry!
Put her here. Get some brandy.
Is she all right, John? Is she all right?
See in a minute. Put her head down here. Easy now. That's right. Now. He's only fainted.
Oh, darling.
No, Rip. Keep her head down.
Sweetheart.
Here's the brandy, Dr. Lewis.
Darling, it's all right. We're all here.
Here, drink this. Come on, drink it. That's right.
Anne, darling, it's all right. John, is she strong enough to go?
I think so, yes.
Come on, darling. I'm going to take you away from here right now. Carrie, do you want to come with us?
Oh, yes, of course, Rip, if you want me to.
Get your coat.
No. No, you can't stop me now. I'm going with Rip.
Very well. You can go. I'm not stopping you.
Then let me go.
Just a moment, Caroline. In his haste, Rip forgot the pearls. Surely you wouldn't like Anne to leave without the pearls.
No. We can get them some other time.
Well, I'd like her to have them now. We'll go in together.
No.
Come, Caroline.
No.
Don't be afraid.
No, I can't.
Yes, you will.
Coming, Miss Caroline?
I, Victoria Van Brett, convey and set over
No.
unto Rip Van Brett
No, never.
any and all of the estate, real and personal.
Now, sign it.
I refuse.
Very well. I shall prefer charges against you this morning.
You wouldn't dare.
Assault with murderous intent is a criminal offense.
They forgot the pearls. He'll never find them.